What is up, everyone? So I didn't really plan on doing a long form video on this bike. Picked it up for 200 bucks. Super good deal. It was in pretty rough shape. It's still in not the best shape, but slowly been getting it there. There's quite a few things I've already done to it. Did kind of not the best job on the seat cover here, but we got a new seat cover for it. We also got a new ignition for it, which I've already got installed. It works and everything. It's got a lock, steering lock on it. They just had it set up with these switches right here. And fortunately though, they didn't just cut the plug off. They cut off the end of it where they could just wire in these switches and make it work. So I was able to plug the new ignition right in and not have any issues. So anyway, yeah, 200 bucks. Also put some new intake boots on it because they're really dry rotted and leaking. This one here is still leaking. You can see it's got pod filters on it. I've actually test rode the bike once at this point, and like idle to quarter throttle, mid-range, it was fine. Wide open throttle, it was like dead bogging. So I don't believe they jetted out the carbs for those pod filters. So that's one of the things I'm going to be addressing today. I'm going to pull the tank off of it. I'm going to pull the carbs off, see what jets are in it, and see if I have the correct jets to put in it to jet it out. Probably, I don't know, 20 points higher or something like that. Go from there with it. But yeah, it is running and riding as is. I haven't really cleaned it up a whole lot. You can see there's a bunch of grime and grit stuff on it. I did clean up this side just a little bit, just kind of see how it would clean up, and turned out pretty good. Front fender, cleaned it up. There's some polishing, some cutting, polishing, and things of that sort that could go down here. The tachometer doesn't work. It did work when we got it. I went ahead and just took the cable out. Unfortunately, the cable broke, but luckily that's all it was, and it wasn't actually the tach drive gear. So anyway, let's go ahead and get this tank off of here, get these carbs off, see what jets it's got in it, and see if I've got the correct jets to put in it. I believe between all the different carbs I've got here, I've probably got something that's a little bit bigger that will work with these carbs here. So let's get this tank off, carbs off. I'm also going to go ahead and put some Yama Bond in between those intake boots. I just don't like how I've only got 2 spots where it's bolted down, and it's like not, I don't know, it's just not sealing. You can hear it once it gets warmed up and running. There's like a sound it makes. But anyway, yeah, let's get the tank off there, get the carbs off, get those intake boots all sealed up properly, and get some jets in this thing. nice thick coat of Yama Bond on the ports for the intake boots. I'm going to go ahead and bust these carbs open and see what kind of main jet we're working with on this thing. Hopefully I've got the right type of jets for it. I'm sure between all the different carbs we've got here, I've got something. If not, then I can resort to drilling out the jets, but typically don't like to do that. I've had drill bits break off in jets before, despite the fact that they're brass. For some reason, that's happened fairly often with drilling out jets for me. But you'll see what we're working with here in just a second. Looks like a 107.5, so that's probably stock. Probably go with like a 120. And I do believe I have some of these style jets, so we'll just pop all these carbs off, or float bowls off. Try to find some 120s to throw in there. And go from there. See if I can get this done quick enough to go on a little test ride today. It's about 50 degrees, so not too bad out today. All right, just got back from a little test ride right before dark, which was my plan, hopefully get everything sorted by then. But the only issue we're having really now is the throttle cable. It keeps wanting to hang up a little bit. I mean, it'll high idle and you just jiggle on the cable and it'll drop down. So probably need to do a new throttle cable on it, but other than that, half throttle to full throttle now, it is actually revving out, not bogging and stuff like that. So that 20 points up from 107.5 to 120 was just the little trick she needed. But anyway, yeah, this bike is pretty well good to go other than that throttle cable and the tack cable. I forgot about that. So I don't know, I was thinking about trying to repair that tack cable because I mean it broke in half, and it is metal. I could weld it together and then I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I think that's pretty much gonna do it for this video. The next video I'll take you guys with me on a test ride once I get the tack and throttle cable all figured out and stuff. But yeah, thank you all for watching. If you like the video, please hit thumbs up. Helps me out a lot. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave those down below. And if you feel like I've earned a subscription today, go ahead and tap on that sub button down there, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace. So I was gonna cut this video short, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and do some more work to this thing. So I noticed the running light isn't coming on. I can put 12 volts to it, and the that filament portion of the bulb will actually light up, so it's not the bulbs. So there's something with the wiring going on here. They've got a lot of weird stuff that they've done with the turn signals there. They've got some more connectors here that I don't know exactly why they did that, but this right here is missing a 10 or 15 amp fuse, and it's a red and white wire, so it should be a switched ignition wire and also DC power. So I could just run a wire straight back there to the bulbs to switch on whenever either the key or the ignition switch is turned on to power up the running lights. So yeah, we also got in our tack cable here and our speedo cable there, so we'll get all that stuff installed. And yeah, let's just quit talking about it, be about it, and get this done. All right, so got the tack cable out here. I'm gonna go ahead and just spray some, this is like silicone lubricant down into the cable. good bit of that in there, and then also put just a tiny bit of this high temp grease on the very ends of the cable. You don't have to worry about any kind of rusting or anything like that. Do the same thing on this side. And we'll be doing the same thing for this speedo cable as well once we get to that. Shop panel. So up a bit here. Clean up all this excess stuff here. You guys set up so you can kind of see what's going on over here. I'll go ahead and run this through where I want it to route. Tack side. I'll get this side in here first. You may have to do a little rotating here. Get it to go in there properly. There we go. Rusty sounding. So come up here now. See if you guys can see this at all. Probably not. Yeah, I don't know that I'm gonna be able to get you guys a good view of this or not. How to do it. But I'll probably be in the way of your view here. Kind of a tight spot to be working on anything in. Pull the cable up a little bit more. Get this guy in here. May have to bump it over a couple times to get this cable to line up the right way. Oh, there she went. Slipped on in there. Get this all snugged up. That should get our tack working again. We'll get a wrench on that here in a minute. Alright, so same thing here. Got a nice little cap on the end of that. Spray some down that side and that side. Work the cable in and out a little bit, get it nice and lubed up. More grease here, and I'm actually going to put the grease that portion there, a little bit up here. I actually had some cables that like rusted to the converter portion thing there before, and just like that portion of it just kind of snapped. The speedo drive thing, whatever you want to call it there. Take this cable up a little bit. And I believe this side here, go this guy. kind of a pain to thread these on. These things sometimes. Cross thread, but I don't like to do that. Yeah, but it's starting to go on straight. I'll have to use a wrench or some pliers. We'll wrap this up through here. Put a foot in there, yeah. Here. That up in there. All right. Grab some pliers real quick. Snugged up, nice and tight like. There's that one. Oh. Wasn't quite throwing it on there. All right, there we go. Nice and tight there. Come back around. And snug up these tack connections here. It's nice and tight, so now we should have a tack and also speedo, hopefully. I looked into why the running. All right, so did a little investigating with the multimeter there. I started out by checking this fuse block right here, because there's usually a fuse for your like headlight, your main fuse, which powers, you know, like everything, and then also your tail light, brake light. So this blue, or this red and blue wire right here, I was getting 12 volts on this side of it, and on this side I was getting, I can't remember if it was 5 or 0.5, but not much. So I swapped out the fuse, and we now have a working running light back there. So I just had to put a little bit of fuel in this thing now. See if we can get this thing start up and if our tack is actually going to work or not. And unfortunately it's raining, so I can't take it on a test ride right now. Where'd I put the keys for this thing? Let me find where I put the keys at. Alrighty, so now ignition switch on. We've got our running light. Still got our brake lights. That's a good sign. Let's go ahead and turn her over, see if we get her start and whether or not this tack is going to work here. I'll just do a little loop here in the shop and see if it'll show any kind of speed on the everything seems to be working. I can see the needle moving just a little bit while I'm, going through the shop here. So seems to be good to go. Hopefully we'll get a day where there's no rain here soon, and I can take this thing on a test ride and post her up on Marketplace. Anyway, I think that's pretty well gonna do it for this video. This thing is, pretty well good to go. It could really use a new back tire. It's got some tread on it there, but front tire looks good. Got our new speedo and tack cable working, so happy about that. Everything seems to be in order. We got all the lights, the blinkers, everything working on it. Got some fresh oil in there, some different spark plug caps because the caps that originally were on this were leaking. Some sparkages. Got the new intake boots on there, new seat cover, which turned out okay. Not perfect, but I'm not an upholsterer, so anyway, yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this video. If you guys liked the video, please hit the thumbs up. That helps me out a lot. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave those down below. And if you feel like I've earned your subscription today, go ahead and tap on that subscription button over there, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.